So we just went ahead and laid out the windows on the wall, and my client, they had a nice architectural drawing, had all these great dimensions, but it actually didn't have any window dimensions because they didn't exactly know where they wanted to put them. So I'm lucky enough that usually they kind of leave it up to us to use our best judgment and do what is, I guess, what we would do for our own project, which is awesome. I mean, that's the kind of trust you want. So what we've done is we went through and we marked out all these windows. We're gonna go ahead and tack them up. We're not gonna cut anything. We're not gonna, make it final, because I don't wanna have to do rework, because even though they trust us, that doesn't mean that we're going exactly where they want it. So we're just gonna put some quick screws in it, get all the window boxes up today, or that's our goal, to start putting window boxes up, and then we'll get the confirmation that they like it, and then we can start cutting these open and installing windows, house wrap, and I think this will probably be our first wall that we'll attack, is this side wall.
Boom. Perfect.
Okay, next one. Good Lord, that's a lot of windows.
Better make sure the attaches are charged up, get some new punches.
So one of the questions that I get all the time, and it mainly happens over on Instagram, is how do you guys make sure that your windows line up with your steel? And to me, I always ask myself, I guess maybe people don't always think about that, but if you're gonna use steel, you've got to think about where your ribs are gonna go. And in our instance, we've got a 9-inch profile on our steel, which means that you have to be conscious every time you lay out a window, a door, you lay out your roof steel, everything across the whole building. You've got to have in mind where your steel is going to work and where it's going to lay out, so that things are waterproof. And what I mean by that is, if I go ahead and put a window right on the edge of a rib going up the sidewall, well, when I flash that steel, you're basically inviting water to come on that J channel at the top of the window and go right into that rib. So what I always try to do is stay away from the rib as much as possible, so we can flash out onto the flat of the steel and give the water an opportunity to work its way down the wall without working itself behind the steel. So in this instance, we've got a rib right on the edge of the wall. That's just the way the layout works out on this wall. So the customer is wanting a window as close to this post as possible. Now this is a 60-inch window, which means when I split it in half, because I'm finding the center, that's 30 inches. So first thing I like to do is I like to find where I think about the center of the window is going to be, and I find the closest rib. Now every 9 inches I've got a rib, which means 9 foot, that's a edge of a panel, center of a rib, and then I can go every 9 inches. So at 9 foot 9 I've got a rib, at 10 foot 6 I got a rib, and at 11 foot 3 I have a rib. Now what I'm also going to do is I'm going to mark back towards the window every rib location. That way I can kind of have a good idea right where I'm going to put this window before I actually screw it in. With a 30-inch window, if I center it on a rib, then it's going to put the edge of my window about 3 inches past the center of a rib, which is actually about the center of the flat between two ribs. So that's like the most ideal position right there. So that's what we're going to do on this one. We're going to make this rib right here center, and that's where the window's going to go. Ooh, that's hard.
Yeah, that's stretch. I got it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. This is all me. All me.
All right. I'm just going to come over here and help you, though.
Yeah. You want to help me, dude? What do you Why did we choose this one to record?
Here, let's do this, my dude.
Well, we didn't. We do it now. Whoa.
Okay.
Waiting on you.
In this building, just because of the layout of the windows and the height the customer wanted, we're going to go off of our wainscot nailer. Top of the nailer is the bottom of the window. Now typically we like to be about 6-8 inches from the wainscot, but this building is just a little bit unique. I think it's going to look great, but and it honestly, it actually saves us a another piece of 2x4, so it really does work out quite well.
This guy. There you go.
Just need a little bit of Kyle, man.
Too much, dude.
Always making sure when you pull measurements and tape, you always come from the same corner, and you also always come from the corner that you're going to start running your steel. That way, everything is consistent as possible from start to finish. You all right? Need help? I've been using this Makita a little bit lately on this job, and this is the XDT16. It's got all these sweet features. You guys have heard me talk about it. Makita, I wish you'd pay for me to talk about it, but I'm just gonna because I like it.
Whoa.
I know, I just called them out.
Whoa.
But it's actually a really nice driver. It's very smooth. I won't say that it's as powerful feeling as the Triple Hammer, but it is very form factor-ish and aesthetically pleasing to my hand, Greg.
Fit your baby hands.
Yes, exactly. That's right.
Someday you might get man hands like me. Someday. You have to take this
One
window
can only hope. Oh, do you want help?
No, I got it actually. Thank you for the encouragement. Like just having you watch me, like I knew I could do it. That's
I couldn't do that.
Yeah. Wait, get that side down, please. We're catching on that chain. That's a problem.
Stupid chain.
No, the chain is honestly like.
I see it.
Honestly, like I think the chain's gonna have to come down.
Chain's got to come down, dude. It's in a horrible spot. We need to be above that soffit.
Chain's only bringing us down.
Huh?
The chain's only bringing us down.
It needs to be above the soffit. I'm just gonna undo it. Just put it up there, because clearly we'll probably need it again.
Whoa! Get the window.
I get the wall.
Get the sweat dripping down my.
28 foot 6 inches. That's the center. Worst thing about working in the sand, man, you gotta keep your tape measures clean of the sand. Otherwise, they don't want to go back in. That's why I've been using this Crescent Lufkin shock force 25 footer. It not only is much lighter weight and has great visibility, but it seems to be impervious to the sand.
Don't forget about the night eye.
Oh yes, and Greg here, he's been rocking the Night Eye, which is trademarked, so you can't use that. And it's got this nice shiny gray and black. It's pretty good though. No, I was demoing that it's actually able to survive a 100-foot drop on concrete. That's not true. I think it's dirt.
Dirt?
100-foot drop into dirt.
So if I was to throw this as far as I can up in the air? You know,
well, you would still have another 50 foot of depth to drop probably.
oh no, I got at least 80.
You ain't. No, you ain't. That building over there is probably 30.
Oh yeah,
I got
80 easy.
All right, let's try it.
Okay.
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 All right. We'll try that. Let's get 2 windows in.
What the? What's that sweet float? Like it took me a second to register like exactly what you did. I'm like, no, he didn't just do that.
Well, I guess that answers that. Like it?
Love it. Whoa.
All right, so Greg says that he can throw his tape measure 80 feet in the air. I don't think he's going to get it that high, but regardless, it is one of these new Crescent shock force tape measures, and we've been using them. They're pretty lightweight. They're definitely very tiny. They're only a 25 footer, so that's a little bit of a downer in the post frame world because we do measure out quite far quite often, but they're just really convenient and they've held up really well. But Greg claims that he can send this thing 80 feet in the air, and it's supposed to survive, I think, a 100-foot drop. So let's hand it off and let's let Greg do it.
All right. Now,
Greg
I am 26 now, so
yeah.
You know,
Greg just turned 26, so we'll just see what happens here, Greg. I'm ready when you are, man. You're gonna throw this sucker way up in the sky.
Sky high, ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Should have locked it.
All right, go get it, man. Let's see what it looks like.
I think I pulled something.
Yeah, you're old now, man. Find it? All right, does it work?
Yeah, like a drain.
How high did you get it?
I would say probably 70 feet in the air.
So about 40?
Maybe,
All right,
maybe.
I think it's my turn. Let me see that sucker. I gotta take my pouch off because if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. And I turned down my major league contract to go into the trades because I knew that there was a big shortage. So
Right, yeah. Oh, he's a lefty.
I'm a lefty.
It's in the mud.
We're gonna find out. Don't worry, Greg. The mud around here doesn't stick. Where's it at? Oh, here it is. Look at this. This sucker went in like you would expect a comet that entered the Earth's atmosphere because it was so high in the sky when it went down. I bet it went about 50 feet. I wouldn't say any more than that. Look at this sucker. It just thudded right in there. Look, it left an indentation. This thing is supposed to have like a 14-foot standout. Still smooth as butter. I mean, there's 14. Not bad. That was for you to catch, dude. RR Buildings approves the Crescent Shock Force Lufkin 25-foot tape measure.